Hi, this is Daryl Meyer from Keller, Texas. Today is Tuesday, November 17th, 2009. Listen, I want to talk to you today about a topic called Preterism. Now, you may not know what this is, but there are a lot of people that believe in this theology, and I want to nip it in the bud right now. If you don't know, Preterism is basically the doctrine that all Bible prophecies happened in the past. Preterists essentially believe that all the prophecies of the Bible have already been fulfilled. They believe that the second coming was fulfilled in 70 AD, which we're going to get into that. So, without any further ado, I apologize for not bringing any news to you today, but to me this is news because there's a huge following of people that believe this very thing. I'll probably be talking faster than normal today because I have a ton of stuff to lay on you. Let me start with 1 Timothy 6, verses 3 through 5. If anyone teaches false doctrines and does not agree to the sound instruction of our Lord Jesus Christ and to godly teaching, he is conceited and understands nothing. He has an unhealthy interest in controversies and quarrels about words that result in envy, strife, malicious talk, evil suspicion, and constant friction between men of corrupt mind who have been robbed of the truth and who think that godliness is a means to financial gain. Doesn't sound like the place you want to be. Let's go to 2 Peter 2, verse 1. But there were also false prophets among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you. They will secretly introduce destructive heresies, even denying the sovereign Lord who bought them, bringing swift destruction on themselves. Okay, let me first say that Preterism, and I'm sorry I'll be reading from my notes here because I have a lot on this subject. Preterism was first advanced in 1604 by the Roman Catholic Jesuit Louis de Alcazar to destroy the Reformed Protestant teaching that the papacy was Mystery Babylon, the great whore and the historical Antichrist. According to the 19th century Bible commentator Barnes, the Jesuits felt that Protestantism was winning the battle over Roman Catholicism by depicting Rome as the great harlot church. Consequently, they attempted to counteract the Protestant Reformed teaching by propounding the Preterist approach to the book of Revelation. Here's the major problems with Preterism. The doctrine of Preterism rises or falls on the teaching that all the events of the book of Revelation were fulfilled by 70 AD. Here's a list of prophecies in Revelation that have clearly not yet been fulfilled. In Revelation 9, 15 through 16, this prophesies a war that will kill a third part of men. This has not happened yet in all of history. There's never been a time when 1/3 of the earth was wiped out. It must be in the future. Revelation 11, 1 through 2 says that Jerusalem will be trodden down of the Gentiles for 42 months prior to the second coming. This didn't happen in 70 AD. The Romans simply destroyed Jerusalem. They did not occupy it. Revelation 11, 3 through 12 describes the ministry of two witnesses that will prophesy during the 1260 days of the Great Tribulation. They will then be killed and 3.5 days later rise from the dead. Nothing like this happened in 70 AD. Revelation 13 describes a time when every person on earth will be required to take a mark in order to buy or sell, the mark of the beast. We've never had the technology to do this until now. This has never happened in any time in human history. Right there, we're pretty much debunking this whole theory of preterism. It could never have happened because none of these things have ever happened yet. Hello? Hello? Okay. Revelation 13 prophesies the coming of the false prophet who will pull down fire from heaven in the sight of men. He will deceive the world into following the Antichrist by means of those miracles that he has power to do. Can you show me in any history book where this has ever happened? I think it would have been recorded. Hey, here's a guy pulling fire down from heaven. Revelation 16:12 states that the Euphrates River will be dried up to make way for the kings of the east to invade Israel at the Battle of Armageddon. The Euphrates River did not dry up in 70 AD. However, it could happen now because the Ataturk Dam in Turkey could simply push a button, raise the floodgate level higher, and cause the Euphrates to dry up. That dam will probably play a huge part in Bible prophecy. Revelation 20, verses 1 through 6, teaches that Satan will be bound for 1,000 years at the time of the first resurrection. Now, Preterism teaches that the first resurrection occurred in 70 AD. However, the 1,000-year binding of Satan has never occurred. During that 1,000-year period, we were supposed to have no sin, no sickness, no death, and Satan would not be anywhere on the scene. Let's see. We still had sickness, we still had death, we still had war, we still had sin. Satan was not bound. How could this have happened? Because all of this is still yet to happen in the future, people. Preterism is false teaching. I'm sorry, but they missed it by that much. Okay, the core teaching of preterism is that the confirmation of the covenant spoken of in Daniel 9:27 was fulfilled by the ministry of Jesus Christ and has nothing to do with a coming Antichrist. Wrong! Okay. They also contend that Jesus was the one who stopped the daily sacrifice on Calvary because of the sacrifice of himself on Calvary. So, if Jesus is not the one who confirmed the covenant and stopped the daily sacrifice and placed the abomination of desolation in Daniel 9:27, then the entire teaching of preterism is invalidated. So the question then becomes, who is the he referred to? Let's look into it. Notice that the same he who is to confirm the covenant in Daniel 9:27 is also to take away the daily sacrifice and be the one that does the abomination of desolation. He shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the 1 week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate. In Daniel 11:30 through 31, it tells us that it is the Antichrist, the king of the north, and his followers who take away the daily sacrifice. Could Jesus be the Antichrist? Do I have to ask you that? Come on. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, let's see. Let me keep going here. I'm sorry, my notes I can't even read my own writing sometimes. Okay. In Matthew 24:34, Jesus says, I say to you, this generation shall not pass until all these things be fulfilled. Many preterists contend that Jesus was teaching in Matthew 24 that the generation to which he was speaking would not pass until all those things would be fulfilled. Of course, that would include the Lord's second coming and the gathering of elect from the four winds of heaven. However, in verses 32 through 34, Jesus says, Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When its branch is tender and putteth forth leaf, you know that summer is near. So, likewise, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. What Jesus was saying was, when you see the fig tree putting forth its leaves, then you know that summer's near. Then likewise, when you see the signs given in Matthew 24, then we'll know the generation that witnesses these things is the one to which he's speaking. Okay? Because none of those prophecies have been fulfilled yet. Preterism also likes to describe the second coming in verses 30 and 31 of Matthew 24. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and he'll be coming in great glory in the clouds. The explanation given is that Jesus coming on the clouds is symbolic of Jesus coming in judgment. It is contended that the judgment of Jerusalem in 70 AD was the second coming of Matthew 24. However, there's a fatal flaw to this teaching. Revelation 1:7 describes his coming in the clouds. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. This passage states that the second coming in the clouds, every eye shall see him. In 70 AD, did every eye see Jesus? Obviously not. Okay, also, preterists like to think that Rome is not what is spoken of in Revelation 17 through 18. The Roman Catholic Church, it talks about it in great detail. Mystery Babylon. Preterists think it's Jerusalem, not Rome. Of course, the Roman Catholic Church loves this because it exonerates them of one of the Bible's most severe indictments. However, Revelation 17 refers to the city on seven hills. Now, Rome is known around the world as the city on seven hills. Jerusalem is not. Revelation 17:4 states that the woman was arrayed in purple and red. The two ruling bodies of the Roman Catholic Church are purple and red. Cardinals wear red, while the bishops and archbishops wear purple. There's no honest explanation of how this applies to Jerusalem. I have to hurry. I'm sorry I'm speaking so fast. In 2 Thessalonians 2, 3, and 4, it teaches that the man of sin, the son of perdition, will sit in the temple of God claiming to be God. When did this ever happen? It hasn't. It's coming. Be ready. Some people say it was Nero. Well, Nero was never in Jerusalem, so that can't be. Micah 4:3 prophesies of the 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ. I think we would have heard about that if there was 1,000 years of Christ on the earth reigning with his authority. Our history books would have changed significantly. In Daniel 12:9, God told Daniel that the understanding of the Bible's prophecies would be sealed until the time of the end. Why would God decree in 600 BC that prophetic understanding would be closed up until the time of the end? The only conceivable explanation is that he wanted to place end-time prophecy in the hands of the end-time church for the purpose of igniting one last great end-time revival. Listen, preterism runs counter to God's expressed intention for end-time revival, therefore should not be taught or believed. God bless you.